imagine this: the Wilshire Ebel Theater in Los Angeles packed wall-to-wall with energy on March 31, 2026. Johnny Depp stands there launching Three Hearts rum alongside his longtime friend Bobby Delian. The launch party is pure wild energy: lights flashing, rum flowing, celebrities toasting, and the crowd chanting lines straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean. Everyone is buzzing about how fun and epic the night felt, with Johnny Depp looking happier than ever. But while the celebration grabbed every headline, what no one is really talking about is the real drama hidden deep inside every single bottle of Three Hearts rum. The personal battles, the years of quiet dedication, and the powerful story behind the design that turns this into so much more than just another celebrity spirit. That untold truth is waiting right now. The lights were flashing, the music was pulsing, and the Wilshire Ebel Theater felt alive like a scene straight out of one of his movies. Johnny Depp stood tall in the middle of it all, smiling wide as he raised a glass with his longtime friend Bobby Delian. The crowd cheered loud when they announced the official launch of Three Hearts rum on March 31, 2026. People were toasting, snapping photos, and chanting lines from Pirates of the Caribbean, because for many this felt like the Captain Jack Sparrow energy had stepped into real life with actual rum this time. The energy was wild, the vibe was electric, and everyone left talking about how happy and relaxed Johnny looked the night after everything he has been through in recent years. But if you only watched the headlines or the short clips floating around, you missed the deeper layer. The real drama behind Three Hearts rum is not some tabloid fight or public scandal. It is the quiet years of patience, the personal pain turned into purpose, and the careful choices that make every bottle carry more weight than just premium Caribbean spirit. This is not another quick celebrity drink slapped together for cash. This one was built slow and honest over years, and that is exactly why it feels different. Let us start from the beginning. Johnny Depp has had a love affair with the Caribbean for decades. He owns a private island in the Bahamas called Little Halls Key, where he has spent countless days away from Hollywood noise. The sea, the sun, the rhythm of island life became his escape and his reset button. Rum has always been part of that world. It carries the history of the island, shaped by the hands of people who grow the sugarcane, ferment the spirit, and age it with care. In interviews around the launch, he said rum holds the history of the islands, and he wanted to honor that tradition along with the friendships that inspired it. That friendship at the center is with Bobby Delian. They have been close for years. Bobby works as a development associate at Johnny's own production company Infinitum Nihil. They have shared meals, late-night talks, and real trust long before any talk of business. When the idea of a rum brand came up, they did not rush. Bobby has said publicly they were approached many times over the years with offers to do alcohol projects, but they waited until it felt right. They wanted something meaningful, not just a name on a label. That patience is rare in this industry where most celebrity spirits drop fast and fade even faster. The development took years. They worked quietly with distillers in the Dominican Republic, choosing every detail with respect for Caribbean rum-making heritage. The first expression is a 7-year aged rum. It starts with 5 years in ex-bourbon barrels, getting that rich depth, then finishes with 2 more years in ex-cognac casks after a hint of Oloroso influence. The result is smooth, complex, and crafted to feel premium without trying too hard to impress. It is not the cheapest bottle on the shelf at $69.99 for the first edition, but the price reflects the time and care put in rather than marketing hype. Now here comes the part almost no one is digging into: the bottle itself. Johnny Depp did not just approve a design. He created it from scratch, sketching the shape, the details, and the symbols himself. Every element comes straight from his personal tattoos and his own life philosophy. Look closely at the bottle and you will see a skull embossed there. For him, it is not about darkness. It is a reminder of life's brevity, to live fully and make every day count. Next to it sits a lightning bolt, symbolizing enduring friendship, the kind that survives storms and stays strong like the bond he shares with Bobby Delian. The number 3 appears because it represents new beginnings for him. And then there are the 3 hearts. Those stand for the loves of his life. In a conversation with People magazine, he pointed to the tattoo on his body and explained clearly, 3 hearts are easy. That is Vanessa Paradis, the mother of my children. That is Lily Rose Depp, and that is Jack Depp. He spoke with obvious warmth and pride. The 3 hearts are not just decoration, they are his heart on the bottle, literally. A bracelet-style charm wraps around the neck like a personal touch, and the base carries the brand motto: no fear, no malice, no envy. That line is not marketing fluff. It is how he tries to move through the world, especially after years where envy, malice, and fear were thrown at him from every direction. Think about what he has carried. The very public legal battles, the intense media scrutiny, the way his personal life was dissected for years. Many people in his position would have stayed bitter or chased revenge. Instead he poured that energy into something creative and positive. Designing this bottle became a way to turn personal symbols into something others could hold in their hands. The drama behind the bottles is the silent resilience it took to reach this point without letting the noise define him. He could have launched anything and fans would have bought it, but he chose to make it personal, and that choice makes the whole project feel authentic. The launch night at the Wilshire Eagle Theater captured only the surface joy. Inside that historic Los Angeles venue, friends, celebrities and supporters gathered to celebrate. Steve Tyler and Jerry Bruckheimer were spotted among the crowd, showing the depth of real connections still around him. The atmosphere felt warm and genuine, not forced. Johnny looked relaxed, laughing and toasting like a man who has finally found a calm chapter. Videos from the night show him genuinely happy, and that happiness comes after a long road. But the real story started long before March 31st. It began with quiet trips to the Caribbean, learning about rum production, talking to distillers and understanding the people behind the craft. It grew through late conversations with Bobby about what kind of legacy they wanted to build together. They refused to cut corners. They waited until the aging process hit the right mark, until the blend felt balanced, and until the bottle design truly reflected the heart they wanted to put in. That level of care is the hidden drama most coverage skipped because it is not flashy. It is patient work done away from cameras. People often ask why another celebrity rum. The market is crowded with names chasing trends. What sets Three Hearts apart is the intention. Johnny has said he wants this to help support Caribbean communities that face real challenges like hurricanes and economic pressure. The brand honors the hands that grow the cane and ferment the spirit. It is not just taking from the culture, it is trying to give respect back. In the press release they described it as rooted in craft, friendship and tradition. Those are not empty words when you see how long they took and how personal every choice became. Let us talk about the taste, because that matters too. This is not some overly sweet party rum. The 7-year aging gives it depth with notes that rum lovers appreciate: warm caramel, vanilla spice and a smooth finish from the cognac cask influence. It feels like something you can sip slowly and actually enjoy the layers rather than shoot for quick effect. Johnny has joked that Captain Jack Sparrow would approve, and in many ways the whole project carries that adventurous, free-spirited energy without copying the movie character directly. The bottle design invites you to look closer every time you pick it up. The embossed details, the flag of his island incorporated, the symbols layered together, they create something that feels like wearable art turned into drinkable art. Fans who buy the first edition are not just getting rum, they are getting a piece of his personal map, the tattoos that tell his story, the philosophy that kept him moving forward. That is powerful when you think about it. In a world full of mass-produced bottles, this one carries real meaning if you take a moment to see it. Of course, not everyone will get it. Some will call it overpriced for a celebrity project. Others will assume it is just another cash grab. But when you hear Johnny talk about waiting years until it felt right, when you read Bobby explaining their shared goal of honoring tradition, you start to see the difference. This was not rushed in a boardroom. It was built through real friendship, real patience and real personal investment. That is the drama. No one is talking about the internal battle to create something honest after years where honesty was hard to find in a public narrative around him. Johnny Depp has always been an artist first. Whether acting, painting, making music or now designing a rum bottle, he puts pieces of himself into the work. The skull tattoo reminder to live fully comes from someone who has stared down very public clothes. The lightning bolt for friendship reflects bonds that did not break even when the storm was fierce. The Three Hearts show a father who stays connected to his children no matter what headlines tried to say. These are not just pretty symbols. They are survival turned into art, turned into spirit. As the launch night wrapped up and people headed home with good memories, the bottles were already heading toward those who pre-ordered. Delivery for the first edition was set for the end of the first quarter of 2026, meaning the rum is real and reaching hands soon. The website threehearts.com went live with clear information, no gimmicks, just the story, the product and the chance to own a piece of it. That transparency matches the whole approach they took. What makes this project stand out even more is how it avoids the usual pitfalls. No wild promises of becoming the next big thing overnight. No fake stories about secret recipes passed down for centuries. Instead it stays grounded in Caribbean tradition blended with personal meaning. The Dominican Republic production, the careful aging, the respect for the workers, all of it adds up to something that feels earned rather than manufactured. If you have followed Johnny Depp through the years, you know the ups and downs have been extreme. From global stardom to intense personal and legal fights back to stepping into new creative spaces like this. The rum launch feels like a quiet victory, not loud bragging but steady creation. The drama behind the bottles is the unseen hours, the doubts faced, the decisions made to keep it real. That kind of story does not always make the flashiest headlines, but it is the one worth hearing because it shows resilience in action. Imagine holding one of those bottles. The weight, the embossed symbols, the motto at the base. It is more than liquor. It becomes a conversation starter, a reminder, and for some a small symbol of moving forward after tough times. Johnny did not need to do this. He could have stayed retired from public projects or stuck only to films. Instead he chose to build something new with a friend and pour real heart into it. That choice reveals character that goes deeper than any role he has played. The Caribbean connection runs strong. His time on the island taught him about slowing down, appreciating nature, and understanding community. Rum making is part of that community fabric, and by entering the space with care he is participating rather than just profiting. Bobby Delian echoed the same sentiment, saying they wanted to create something that respected the heritage while sharing the spirit of their friendship. Those words match the actions they took over the years of development. As more people discover Three Hearts Rum, the conversation will likely shift from just the launch party fun to the deeper why behind it. Why the skull? Why the Three Hearts? Why the patience? When you connect those dots, the wild launch night becomes only the celebration of a much longer, quieter journey. The real drama is human, not sensational. It is about turning personal symbols into shared experiences, about choosing creation over bitterness, and about building with integrity when shortcuts would have been easier. This project also quietly highlights the power of real friendship in Hollywood, where relationships often feel transactional. Johnny and Bobby have known each other long enough to trust the process and wait for the right moment. That trust allowed them to say no to earlier offers and yes only when it aligned with their values. In an industry that moves fast, that patience stands out as its own form of rebellion. The first edition is now available for those ready to experience it. Whether you are a longtime fan, a rum enthusiast, or simply curious about the story behind the bottle, there is something here worth exploring. It is smooth enough to enjoy, neat, bold enough to mix in classic cocktails, and meaningful enough to make the pour feel special. The launch proved the interest is there. The real test will be how the spirit itself speaks once people taste and see the details up close. Johnny Depp has said in the past that he likes projects that let him express freely. This rum feels like an extension of that freedom. The bottle he designed, the name he chose, the motto he lives by, all of it lines up with a man who has learned to navigate life on his own terms. The drama no one is talking about is exactly that navigation, the internal work that turned challenges into this creative output. As the bottles make their way into the world, they carry more than aged rum. They carry a reminder to live fully, to value true friendship, to protect what you love, and to move without fear, malice, or envy. Those are heavy ideas for a spirits brand, but when they come from someone who has faced all three, they land with weight. That is the hidden power inside every bottle of Three Hearts Rum. The night at the Wilshire Theater was wild and fun, just like the headline said. But the real story, the one worth remembering, is the years leading up to it, the personal symbols etched into glass, and the honest intention behind every choice. Johnny Depp and Bobby Delian did not just launch rum. They opened a window into a philosophy that helped one man weather very public storms and come out still creating, still connected, and still pouring heart into what he does. That is the drama behind the bottles, and now that you know it, every sip will taste a little different. The real depth of Three Hearts Rum starts with how long they actually waited before hitting launch. Bobby Delian has shared that offers to do alcohol projects came in for years, but they kept saying no. The idea crystallized around 2021, yet it still took time to build the right team, find the perfect aged rum from a trusted distillery in the Dominican Republic, and secure proper funding. They refused to slap a name on any random blend. Instead, they searched until the liquid matched exactly what Johnny Depp envisioned: smooth, rich, and full of character, with notes of sticky toffee, wood spices, candied orange, and warm vanilla coming through from the careful aging. That aging process is worth understanding. The first edition spends 5 full years in ex-bourbon barrels, picking up deep oak influence and a subtle touch of Oloroso sherry character for complexity. Then it moves into ex-cognac casks for 2 more years where it gains extra smoothness and layered fruit notes. The result is a 7-year-old Caribbean rum at 40% alcohol by volume that feels premium without being heavy or overly sweet. It is crafted for slow sipping neat or in a well-balanced cocktail where the flavors can actually shine instead of getting lost. Rum enthusiasts who have tried early samples describe it as refined and approachable, something that respects traditional rum making while adding that personal touch from the final finishing. Johnny Depp spoke openly at the launch party about the Caribbean connection. Rum holds the history of the islands, he said, shaped by the hands of the people who grow the cane, ferment the spirit and age it over time. He and Bobby wanted to honor the tradition and the friendships that inspired the whole project. His own time on Little Hall's Bond Key, his private island in the Bahamas, played a huge part. Those quiet days surrounded by sea and nature gave him space to think about what he really wanted, to create something meaningful rather than just another product chasing trends. The Caribbean has influenced his life for decades, from filming Pirates of the Caribbean to personal escapes, and now this rum feels like a natural extension of that bond. The bottle design takes that personal connection even further. Johnny did not hire a fancy agency and sign off on concepts. He sketched the shape, the details and the illustrations himself, drawing straight from his own tattoos and life philosophy. The embossed skull on the bottle serves as a constant reminder of life's brevity, to live fully and make every moment count. Next to it, the lightning bolt stands for enduring friendship, the kind that survives rough seas and stays strong, like the one he shares with Bobby Delian. The number 3 represents new beginnings for him, a fresh chapter after everything he has faced. And then come the 3 hearts. Those represent the loves of his life: Vanessa Paradis, the mother of his children, Lily Rose Depp and Jack Depp. He explained it clearly in conversations around the launch, pointing to the symbols with obvious pride and warmth. A bracelet-style charm wraps around the neck of the bottle like a personal accessory, and the base carries the guiding words: no fear, no malice, no envy. That motto is not just printed for looks. It reflects how Johnny tries to navigate the world, especially after years when fear, malice and envy were aimed at him constantly through media storms and public battles. Turning those experiences into positive symbols inside a bottle shows real resilience. Many people in similar situations might have stayed angry or withdrawn, but he chose creation instead, pouring that energy into something others can hold and enjoy. That internal shift is the quiet drama most coverage never reaches, because it is not loud or scandalous, it is deeply human. At the Wilshire Ebel Theatre on March 31, 2026, the celebration brought all those elements together. The historic Los Angeles venue filled with energy as friends and supporters gathered. Steve Tyler and Jerry Bruckheimer were among the faces, showing the genuine connections still strong in his circle. Videos and photos from the night show Johnny looking relaxed and happy, laughing easily and toasting with real warmth. He even joked that Captain Jack Sparrow would approve of the rum imitating the character's voice, and saying he is in there even now. The crowd loved it. The atmosphere felt celebratory without being over the top. It was a night that marked a new creative chapter rather than just a product drop. Yet the real work happened far from the spotlight. Development stretched over several years, involving trips to the Dominican Republic, meetings with distillers and careful tasting sessions to get the blend right. Bobby Delian, who serves as a development associate at Johnny's production company Infinitum Nihil, has been a steady partner through it all. Their long friendship allowed them to move at their own pace without pressure from outside investors demanding quick returns. That freedom let them focus on quality and meaning instead of rushing for market share. In an industry where many celebrity spirits launch fast and disappear faster, this patience stands out as its own form of strength. Supporting Caribbean communities also matters to them. The islands face real challenges, from hurricanes to economic pressures, and the brand aims to honor the people behind the craft: the growers, the fermenters and the aging experts. It is not empty talk about giving back, but a genuine respect for the generational traditions that make rum special. Johnny has described himself as incredibly lucky to have been influenced by the richness of Caribbean culture and community. By entering the space this way, they hope to spotlight those hands rather than just profit from the name. That intention adds another layer to the story behind every bottle. Imagine picking up the first edition for yourself. At $69.99 it sits in the super premium category, competing with established names but standing apart because of the personal storytelling. The bottle feels substantial in the hand, with embossed details that invite you to trace the symbols and think about their meaning. The liquid inside pours rich and inviting, with aromas that hint at the careful aging, vanilla, spice, dried fruit and a touch of warmth from the cognac finish. Whether you enjoy it straight on the rocks or mixed into a classic rum old-fashioned or daiquiri, the flavors unfold gradually, rewarding a slower pace. It is the kind of rum that sparks conversation, not just about taste but about the journey that brought it to your glass. Fans who have followed Johnny Depp through the years will recognize the authenticity here. From his acting roles to his painting and music, he has always put pieces of himself into his work. This rum continues that pattern, turning personal symbols into something shareable. The skull reminds us all to live fully. The lightning bolt celebrates true bonds. The three hearts honor family, and the motto encourages moving forward without carrying unnecessary weight. These are not marketing inventions, they come from real-life experience, someone who has faced very public highs and lows and still chooses to create rather than retreat. The launch being direct to consumer through 3hearts.com also keeps control in their hands. Pre-orders opened leading up to the event, with shipping planned for the end of the first quarter of 2026, meaning the rum is reaching buyers now in early April. That approach avoids diluting the story through mass retail shelves right away and lets them tell the full background directly. The website presents the details clearly: the aging process, the design meaning, and the Caribbean roots without hype or exaggeration. It feels honest, matching the whole development process they followed. Of course, questions come up about why enter the spirits world at this stage. Johnny is 62 with a legendary career behind him. He did not need another project to stay relevant. Yet this one seems to fit naturally after years of stepping back and reflecting. The Rum Diary movie and Pirates of the Caribbean both connected him to rum culture on screen, but this is real, tangible, and built on his own terms. It allows him to blend his love for the islands with creative expression in a new medium: the bottle he designed, the blend he approved, and the message he wants to share. That freedom feels refreshing in an entertainment industry that often pushes people into repetition. Bobby Delian has emphasized that Johnny had everything to do with the vision. He knew exactly what he wanted on the bottle and in the liquid. That hands-on involvement shows in every detail, from the first sketch to the final pour. It is rare for a celebrity founder to invest this much personal time, especially when shortcuts exist. Most brands rely on licensing deals and minimal input, but here the input runs deep. The result is a product that feels like an extension of the man rather than a detached business move. That difference is what makes the hidden drama worth exploring: the years of quiet dedication, the refusal to compromise, and the choice to build something lasting. As more bottles make their way into homes, the conversation will likely grow beyond the launch party photos. People will taste the rum, examine the design, and start asking about the symbols. When they learn the skull represents living fully or the three hearts stand for family, it adds emotional weight to what could have been just another drink. In a crowded market where many celebrity spirits feel interchangeable, this one carries a distinct voice because it comes from real personal history. The wild energy of the Wilshire Ebel night was only the beginning. The real story lives inside the glass and on the bottle for anyone willing to look closer. The Caribbean itself continues to inspire the brand moving forward. Future expressions may evolve, but the foundation stays rooted in respect for tradition and community. Johnny and Bobby have spoken about documenting the craft and the people behind it rather than chasing modern spins. That focus keeps the project grounded even as interest builds. It is easy to get caught up in the celebrity side, but the deeper value sits in how they honor the hands that actually make the spirit possible. That perspective turns the rum into something more than a pour. It becomes a small connection to a larger world of culture and resilience. For those who have faced their own storms, whether personal or professional, the motto on the base, "No fear, no malice, no envy," can resonate. Johnny did not invent those words on a whim. They reflect lessons learned through very public challenges. Applying them to a creative project shows one way to move forward, turning pain into purpose without letting bitterness take over. Not everyone will relate to every detail, but the underlying message of resilience and honest creation feels universal. That is why the drama behind the bottles matters. It is not sensational headlines, but a human story of patience and heart translated into something drinkable. The first edition is now available for those ready to experience it directly. Whether you are a longtime admirer of Johnny Depp, a serious rum collector, or simply curious about a new spirit with real backstory, there is plenty here to discover. Sip it slowly, notice the layers from the bourbon and cognac influences, and let the bottle design spark a conversation. It is more than liquor, it is a reminder that even after difficult chapters, new beginnings are possible when approached with care and genuine intention. The launch proved the excitement is real. Now the rum itself gets to speak for the years of work that went into it. Johnny Depp has always been someone who expresses freely, whether on screen or off. This project feels like another chapter in that ongoing story, blending his artistic side with entrepreneurial spirit. The bottle he shaped by hand, the rum refined by taste, and the philosophy poured into every element all line up with a man who continues creating on his own path. The real drama no one talks about enough is exactly that continued creation. After everything, the quiet strength, the personal symbols made public, and the choice to build rather than simply exist in past fame. Every bottle carries that spirit forward, inviting others to raise a glass to new beginnings, true friendship, and living fully without fear, malice, or envy. As the days after launch unfold and more people open their bottles, the full picture will keep revealing itself. The wild party night captured the joy, but the deeper satisfaction comes from understanding the journey. Three Hearts Rum stands as proof that patience and personal investment can still matter in a fast world. It honors Caribbean roots, celebrates real bonds, and turns private tattoos into public art you can actually share. That combination makes it feel special and worth the attention beyond the initial buzz. The story is still unfolding, one pour at a time, and it is far more interesting than any surface headline ever suggested. The friendship between Johnny and Bobby remains at the center. Their trust allowed them to say no for years until everything aligned. That kind of partnership is rare, and it shows in the final product. No corners cut, no rushed decisions, just steady progress towards something they both believed in. In Hollywood, where relationships can feel temporary, this one demonstrates longevity and shared vision. It adds another layer of authenticity that fans and newcomers alike can appreciate when they hold the bottle or taste the rum. Ultimately, Three Hearts Rum succeeds because it stays true to its origins. Caribbean-inspired, crafted with care, and filled with personal meaning, it avoids the traps that sink many similar projects. There are no wild claims of secret ancient recipes or guaranteed status elevation. Instead, it offers an honest premium rum with a story that invites curiosity and reflection. That honesty is refreshing, and it explains why the launch felt genuine rather than manufactured. The drama behind the bottles is the human effort, the personal symbols, and the resilient spirit that brought it all to life. Now that you see it, every sip carries a little more weight, and every glance at the design sparks a bit more thought. That is the power of turning quiet years into something shareable, and it is exactly what makes this project stand apart in 2026 and beyond. So if this story hit you and you want to taste the real thing for yourself, head over to threehearts.com right now. Grab the first edition of Three Hearts Rum, the 7-year aged Caribbean blend that carries Johnny Depp's personal symbols, his three hearts, and that powerful no fear, no malice, no envy motto. Whether you sip it neat on the rocks or mix it in your favorite cocktail, every pour lets you experience the patience, the friendship, and the honest heart that went into every bottle. Supplies are moving fast after the wild launch, so don't wait too long. Go check it out, support the project, and raise a glass to new beginnings. What are you waiting for?